Hello. So it's Friday. This is the third Friday of the 6 weeks of self-awareness and giving you strategies to help you come more into yourself, bring in more realizations about who you are, who you're meant to be, fully embrace that truth and authenticity. It's a little bit chilly here on Maui today. We've had a bunch of rain come through. We had a beautiful rainstorm, so I'm a little bundled up for a Maui girl, I guess, right now. And yeah, there's a few things to discuss today. One is about the reflections we see in life, what that means, what they look like, why are they even there, and how we find gratitude for them. A lot of times mirrors and reflections can bring up self-doubt, or they can bring up triggers that we weren't aware of, and that can create these feelings of contempt within ourselves. And the best way to really acknowledge that is to come into a place of gratitude and compassion for the self. But I'm already skipping ahead towards the end, so I'm going to rewind a little bit and come back to mirrors and reflections. And this idea that we create our own world, and the world around us is a reflection of things that we have thought before, actions that we've been taking, or perhaps habits that we put into motion. And I think the best example of reflections and mirrors are relationships. And this can be a relationship with a significant other. It can be a relationship with a friend. It can be a relationship with an animal that you have. So for example, my dog Ruby is a prime example of my mirror for a lot of things. She came into my life when she was about 1.5, and she's 10 now. And she came into my life right before I started what I call my healing journey. It was right after a car accident had pushed me into healing my body, and as a result, I started healing my heart and healing my mind, and receiving therapy both for the PTSD and the therapy for the body, and therapy within a yogic practice. And Ruby was there through all of it. Ruby has been with me for up until now, almost 10 years, and she has been my mirror and my reflection to check in with about what I'm perceiving. I look at her to just check in with the beliefs and the ideas that I'm having. And of course, my reactions to her are going to be different than they would be to a human. So I look for relationships with partners and significant others to teach me more about how I'm feeling in any given moment. So when we have a partner who might bring up feelings that we thought were kind of old and done, it's something to maybe address again and to see for ourselves. So it can be a repeating pattern, and we kind of discussed that last week about old patterns, but the relationships we have are there as opportunities to see those old patterns, if they come up, where we're at again. Because sometimes we can be here with that old pattern, and then we've gone through it, it's healed, it's done, and then it moves down into another level, and then we address it at this level, and then again at this level. So when we're in relationship, and for example, if we want to bring up with our partner a new idea that we have, if we want to change jobs. So say you're telling your partner, I want to change jobs, I want something different, this is my idea, here's where I'm going. So if that partner, it depends on their response. So say their response is something to do with they have a statement and they say, great, go for it, awesome, have at it. Or if they have a question and they say, are you really sure you want to do that? What does that really mean for us as a family or us as a couple, and where does that put us? And there are a lot of different things that can come up for one another. But part of that is recognizing what comes up for you based on their response. And also, if they're questioning you, perhaps it's a sign of you questioning you in different ways. So what other people bring up in you is just a reflection of something that you were maybe not aware of initially. And this is an opportunity for you to look at it and see what it's teaching you. I like to think of the things that come up in us as a way to further deepen our understanding of the self. So when we are in relationship with another person and we have reactions or responses within us that might be perceived as negative or ugly or sometimes painful or sticky, these are just options and opportunities for us to understand and see more of what we're really wanting. There's definitely this questioning that can come up within us, especially if something comes up that we aren't very proud of, or something that comes up that we want to sort of push away and get rid of. But really what you want to do when something comes up as a reflection and as a mirror is to look at it. It's a reflection for a reason. You look in the mirror and there's a reflection, so you want to look at it. That's the purpose of a mirror, is to see it and to look at yourself. So you don't want to push it away. You don't want to shove it aside, because then you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're telling yourself that you don't matter, that anything that you have going on in you doesn't matter. And you don't want to tell yourself that you don't matter, because then you'll lose that trust with yourself. And we talked about that a few weeks ago, about how you build trust with yourself. So rather than pushing it aside and getting rid of it, you really want to come into this acceptance. And how we come to acceptance within ourselves is to recognize it, allow it to be there, and come into this sense of curiosity about it. Rather than judgment, we come from it as more of a, I wonder what that's about. I wonder where it's coming from. I wonder why it's coming up now. What does it mean that it's coming up right now? And then think about what it feels like in the body, what it feels like emotionally, energetically, and then bring in this sense of compassion and nurturing. So it's surrender. And I oftentimes like to refer to the word surrender as more of a compassion with the self and with the heart. So it's releasing the judgment and coming into a place of gratitude for yourself. So that's how we can be grateful for ourselves, and for those reflections, is because it's teaching us something. And there's so many opportunities in reflections for us to really come home to ourselves and to wake up. And so I think my biggest I'm like getting triggered right now because Instagram Live just went off. So sorry, Instagram, it just seems to not have a connection today. So I apologize. And that's sort of distracting to me and bringing in this like reflection of, oh no, what did I do and how do I fix it? But that's also a moment to say, maybe there's just something else aside that's not necessary for me to attend to right now, because my focus needs to be on something else. So here we are. And it's just an interesting perspective to think about life as a mirror and as a reflection of us. And it's not to do it in a self-blaming way, to say that if you are in a situation that is perhaps you live in a certain place that doesn't suit your needs, or you're in a relationship that isn't supportive, or you are you are in a job that doesn't serve you or doesn't appeal to you anymore. And it's not to say that you are to blame for any of this, or that it's your fault. It's never a fault game. It's more of an acknowledgement and a recognition that it's happening, and that it's not happening to you, right? It's happening for you. And it's here for a reason. All of this stuff comes up for a reason, so that you can address it and have the opportunity to really evolve into yourself and evolve for yourself. And you can grow into something new and something different. And the best part of all of this is that change is constant, and that nothing lasts forever. So if it's in this hard, quote unquote, hard time, or you're feeling like there's a sticky, ugly situation, that things can move and things can progress based on your response and your reaction to what is reflected around you. So think of it as you with you, not the other person with you. What is, it's their fault or it's my fault. It's actually a reflection of something that you have been feeling or thinking inside of you that you haven't been aware of. So it's that opportunity to have a mirror and see it and look at it. The reflections show up to bring our awareness to things that we did not see, because we cannot see ourselves without a mirror or a camera, but we can't see ourselves without that mirror. So the reflections are there as a gift. We get to be grateful for them and gentle with ourselves as those mirrors and reflections come up. Okay. So my challenge to you is to take a picture of yourself in a mirror. It can be in the bathroom or at a gym, anywhere that you find a mirror, and you just get a selfie in the mirror. And then say one thing that you love about your reflection, and then tag me at Reflective Healing on Instagram or Facebook, and use the hashtag #LoveMyself. Okay? All right, and just know that this is the third video of 6, and if you complete all 6 challenges, then you will get into a drawing for a special essential oils gift. So you can look back on all the videos. I'll also post up all the challenges this week, since we're halfway through, so you can see what all the different challenges are. And I'll post up my own pictures so that you can see a glimpse of what I kind of face, and what I guess a deeper inspiration and a different part of what I see in my reflection for this challenge. All right, thanks so much. Aloha.